The goal of this whole workshop experience for me, and I hope for you guys, is I really want to foster a community where people that didn't have moms, grandmas to teach them would have an opportunity to learn a lot of skills that they're interested in from people that actually know what they're doing. But not just that, what I really want is the app that I shared with you guys. I want it to be a place where when you get stuck or when you have questions afterwards, like, it's not just a, here's a class, here's the information, good luck, find your own way. I want it to be something where we're all kind of in it together. And I named it Still Learning Workshop because, like, we're all still learning. So I figured I'd kick it off because I really like the idea of us sharing the skills we already know as we're learning. And the one thing that I kind of know how to do is make things from scratch. And so I'm going to share that whole journey and my motivations and show you guys how to swap out some of the processed pantry foods for the healthier whole food versions that are from scratch. And so I'm going to actually just read this. You guys have it in your little thing. You can follow along if you want. Also in the back 2 pages of your little handout is for notes if you want to write notes. So if anybody wants a pencil. Our first workshop. So we're going to focus on how to create shelf-stable pantry items out of real food rather than buying processed food from the money-driven, nutrient-deprived, and laboratory-launched products laboratory-launched products. We will process our own food from scratch with ingredients that we can trust, and this way we can ensure our food and our home is safe and nutritious. There are so many additives and preservatives, colorings, and metals to watch out for in our markets today, and the scary thing is that most of the harmful ingredients aren't clearly listed for the consumer's consent. Labels like artificial flavors, natural flavoring, and other innocent-sounding ingredients are actually ways manufacturers hide some of their more nefarious ingredients. With so many listed items to be cautious of, there is an entire world of unlisted ingredients that may be causing harm and havoc without our knowledge or consent. So, do we memorize the harmful ingredients and research our processed foods, or do we guard our homes by processing our own convenience foods from clean whole food at home? We get to choose our hard because the foods options in the stores have left us very little choice. Even our produce and meats have been heavily loaded with pesticides and toxic fertilizers. Something has to give if we are going to watch over the health and nourishment of our families in today's toxic world. Making food from scratch is where I have learned to start my journey. I'm not an expert on all of the hazards or the trouble with our food today, but when I make my own food, I don't have to be. I have found a great peace and freedom in cooking from scratch, and that is what I want to share with you today. It all starts with one small step and then another. When we find simple things that we can make with confidence, it allows us to add more items to our home pantry. And in time, you may be able to eliminate the majority of the ultra-processed foods from your home and bless your family with nutrient-rich replacements. So where do you start? What processed foods do you eat the most often? Is it jellies, ketchups, bread, cereal, yogurt, cake mix? Your projects are going to be unique to your family because we all like different things. Once you get a few items to start with, you can start trying recipes until you find one that you like. Or you can use the group in our band app to get ideas and help you with your projects as you go. We're all learning together, and many hands make light work. So share your journey with us and we can grow together. That is where I want to start from. So with that in mind, there are a few recipes I'm going to show you today with confidence that I have not tried yet. So we are still learning together. The first one we're going to make is powdered sugar. you're gonna find as you're on this journey, there's gonna be compromises that you have to make, and you might be really disappointed with them. But if you allow it to really weigh you down and make you anxious, it can make you sick not having what you need. So for example, one of the compromises I've had to make, I had a really nice, in my brain, a big bag of dried whole milk. So my brain, this was in the freezer and it's this big. And then when I went to get it for the class today, I'm all, wait a second, this is smaller than I remember. And I needed a lot more. And so I ended up buying what was available, which is processed Brothers. So it's not whole milk. It's also got fortified vitamins, which are basically like, throw this in so we could put it on the label, not necessarily things that our body can absorb very graciously. So this is my non-ideal option, but it will actually make what I want to make. Shouldn't impact the flavor. It's just not the whole foods feel that I would like for my family. But in the spirit of doing the class and showing others how to make it, you have to, like, as things come, you decide, is this a mountain I'm going to die on for this item? And so another example of that, just to kind of give you a little bit of freedom from feeling like you have to do everything, like if you're making a from scratch recipe, that you have to have everything organic and everything sourced from all these markets that you researched. I'm going to show you, we're going to be using ultra refined sugar in our powdered sugar recipe today. And the reason for that is because when I buy my sugar, I like this sugar. It's an organic sugar cane, and I get it in 50-pound bags, so that's why I do my Gamma buckets, because it's easier to get it out of. But I'll do this so you can see it. So this sugar is extremely coarse. And that is not what I'm going for with my powdered sugar. So we're going to start with an ultra processed sugar, because I think that's actually going to be what is going to be the most enjoyable outcome for what we're going for. You can get an organic sugar that is more refined, not well, ground, right? Is it refined?
Well, if it's white, it is, but it's just brown. If it's
yeah, just a instead of a coarse.
Organic ground.
Yes, you don't have to get like.
It's not really white. It's more of a
brown.
Yeah, the brown is what it is before they add in all of the additives for the processed version. So before we start this recipe, when we start the recipes, I want to make sure that we read what the hazards could be in the processed version. So behind the recipes, there is a section that says, why should we make it when it's so cheap to buy and saves me time? If you look down at the bottom of that page, it says powdered sugar. And if somebody's willing to read that, that would be fantastic.
Okay, well, some powdered sugars may contain titanium dioxide as a whitening agent, which has raised concerns about potential health risks, especially if inhaled. Dunkin' Donuts, for example, has announced plans to remove it from their powdered sugar donuts, according to Organic Authority. Some powdered sugars may contain sorbitol, which can have a laxative effect and cause digestive issues like bloating, gas, or diarrhea in some individuals, according to
So that's just some of the little factoids that I found. So for all of our recipes, I've just found little like factoids about each thing that we're making that shows some of the reasons why it might be beneficial to make it from scratch. All right, so if you flip to your recipe for powdered sugar, you will see that we are going to need sugar and cornstarch. So we've got our sugar, we've got our cornstarch. And I have a question. Is anybody hands-on learner wants to make the thing, or is everybody okay just watching?
I'm okay watching. How about you? You want to help?
Okay, good. If there's a recipe that you're like, I want to try to do this, just stop me and let me know, because I don't have to make everything. Oh, that reminds me, I'm going to be frying some beef real quick because I'm gonna try to make the hamburger helper for us to try. We're just going to use a blender. This is gonna make our life a million times easier. And honestly, unless you had like a mortar and a pestle, I don't know how you would get it that fine.
Is cornstarch in regular
It
powdered
is.
sugar?
It helps it to not cake together in balls.
Mm.
So I'm assuming so. I think that
realize
there
that,
is a small, I don't think it's a lot, but I do think that they probably do use it. If they don't, they probably have another anti-clumping agent in it. If it's not the cornstarch. Okay, so we're gonna follow the recipe exactly because I want you guys to have an idea of what it's gonna look like if you make it from home. So it's gonna be 3 1/4 cup. And that's all there is to it. Now we blend, and if we're lucky, it's gonna blend and make the powdered sugar without having to dump it in a bowl and try and split it up. But we're gonna see if it works. You probably won't be able to see it because I'm imagining it's gonna be a big old cloud. Yeah. And the nice thing about dry goods in the blender is if it's not mixing the way you like it, you can just off to the side. How fluffy it is so far. It doesn't look like it's poofing the way that I expected it to. I'm gonna give you guys with me. So this is really grainy, just like sugar. So I'm assuming it's gonna need a little bit more time. So in the meantime, since this is gonna take a while, if you guys are okay with meat being cooked and a blender on, I will raise my voice and show you how to make a recipe I've already done before.
Yes.
Okay. So, alright. The next recipe we're making, we're gonna make brown sugar. And I've done this enough times to know what does not work. It does not work in a blender. It does not work in a KitchenAid. And it works, but it takes elbow grease to do it in a bowl. So the solution to all the brown sugar blues is using your stand. It makes it so easy. It blends right up. It's a little sticky at first, but then it kind of comes off your fingers, and I mean, you use molasses, so yeah. I'll show you the brown sugar I have in my pantry right now. We're going to make a darker version of what I already have because I already have a light brown sugar. So this is my light version. 1, 2 1/2, 3, 4, that's probably 5. I'll add more if I want to, but I think we're there with as much as I have. I'm going to put the sugar onto it to save my fingers a little bit. And then I'm just going to try and move the molasses before I start to squeeze and push it through my fingers.
If it just keeps clumping up because there's a lot of molasses, you just add more sugar.
I would add more sugar, yeah. And it shouldn't, so this is coarse sugar. I would expect this would clump a lot. But because I have it really thoroughly squeezed in, I call it mixed, but you're not mixing, you're squeezing it in. Because I have it really squeezed in and there was no big hard, there was no molasses to stick together to, it didn't really have any clumps. This is going to be my dark brown sugar. I will save my grease and I'm going to turn the grease into tallow. And all you have to do is just strain it off and put it in your fridge. And then you're going to have a layer of gelatin that gathers on the bottom, and a layer of fat that's like a disc and it's hard. It goes to the top once it cools. You scrape off everything from the bottom that doesn't look white, and then you'll put it back in a pot with some water. Get it melted, put it back in the fridge. The water sinks to the bottom, the impurity sinks to the bottom, you flip it over, and if there's any gross gunk, it's gonna be on the bottom, you scrape that off. And then you can do that as many times as you want. That's called clarifying it. When you're done, you just keep the disc of tallow, and that's rendered tallow, all from making hamburger helper. So that's my little bonus trick for you. Now, I don't have a lot of fat in this, so I'm not gonna do all of that for this recipe. But when I do like a big, like, okay, I make a hamburger 4 times this week and I don't wanna cook it, and it's like I'm making a big batch of hamburger, this is how I get my tallow out of it. Yeah, I'm not gonna save that, that's way too little. Let's see. I think that's good.
Yeah.
Now what I'm really excited to try with you guys for the first time, and it better work because I'm so excited about it, condensed milk. You always need condensed milk when you never have it, and it takes up pantry space and it annoys me so bad. I found a recipe where you can make condensed milk powder.
Oh.
Save the powder. Make the condensed milk on your stovetop for whatever recipe, and you keep it all in a jar and you just take out what you need. I'm like, I need that in my life. So we're gonna hopefully learn how to do it together, and we are gonna taste it because we're not about to, I'm not gonna send you off with something that I wouldn't eat. Let's see how this turned out on the bottom. Got a little bit of grain to it. It's not quite as fluffy. I am going to guess, ooh, I can taste it.
I was gonna say, you're inhaling it.
So before I keep pouring, you could probably blend this a little bit longer. I'm happy with this consistency, but if it's not powdery enough, just put it back in your blender. So that's my whole, I buy Azure Standard, has really good ingredients that I trust because they put in the work to studying the companies and stuff, so I don't have to.
Where'd
but
you get it?
It's a drop location, so you order online, they come once a month. You have to go to where the truck is and pick up your order.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So it's Fernbridge, it's right at the, yeah. But you have to make sure you're there at the time they say, because sometimes it changes, so you have to like, and yeah, anyway, okay. I feel bad if she's questioning my sanity with me. Okay, we got 1 cup of dry milk. I'm gonna do 2.5 cups of dry milk. No wonder why it was sticking to the side. It gets so hot in that blender when it's on for so long.
How did it start to actually melt it?
It heats it so that it's like,
Tacky.
well, it doesn't, it's not trying to heat it, it's just the motor is working so hard, it gets hot. And when the motor gets hot, it makes it hard to the side and to the bottom. So in order to clean it, I'm gonna need to soak it before it's gonna come all the way off. And the sugar dissolves really well with hot water, so it won't be a problem to clean it. But, you know, I had to scrape the side instead of using this, which is what I expected to have to use. I had to be like, and that's because of the heat from the motor. 1 cup of powdered sugar, and then we're gonna do 1/2 cup of heavy cream powder. Heavy cream powder.
Did it work well in coffee?
It worked really well.
Well, I've seen powdered creamer before, and it's like terrifying.
It does not
It
smell like,
clumps up in the
And
coffee.
it doesn't smell like cream. It smells, I don't know how to
But
describe
you've
it.
used it, you're happy with it.
Yeah, I have used it, I am happy with it, and I'm excited to do it here because it's gonna give it more of a cream
Yeah.
and a smooth, which is what we want in our sweetened condensed milk. And then we're gonna do 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And then we are gonna blend this.
That's exciting because I bought a powdered fettuccine mix.
Uh-huh.
Because this girl here likes fettuccine.
Uh-huh.
But I had it and it made me sick.
Oh.
I got congested, I got a headache, and I'm like, oh my god, I don't know what's in it, but I'm not using this anymore.
Are you allergic to MSG? Because a lot of
Yes.
people have, yeah, so it probably had MSG in it. Especially if you're highly allergic, then yeah, that's most likely the
Yeah,
culprit.
I was shocked, but now if it I could do it.
Yes, you can do it. That's what I want to give you. It's my gift to you. You can do it. Okay, let's go ahead and blend this and get loud. All right, I'm just gonna shake this like this for a second, just to make sure that everything gets incorporated. I'm gonna blend it a little bit longer. That is mixed. I feel it in my bones. So it smells tangy like citrus. That is terrifying, but we are going to try it anyway, and we're going to trust the process. That's probably the milk. That's what I'm guessing. After I get this in the jar, we are going to reconstitute it in a saucepan with butter. And maybe something else, because I didn't read the rest of it.
Hot water.
And vanilla. Hot water and vanilla. Those all sound like promising ingredients. So what I'm going to do, because this has a lot of milk products in it, I'm going to put some moisture absorbers in the jar with this product. And then I am going to put it in my freezer, just like I do with my other milk products. And then if this turns out the way I'm dreaming that it will, I won't need any more of those cans to like stock up on for holidays for like pies and stuff. I will just be able to have this can in my freezer. All right, we're gonna do 2 tablespoons, which is gonna be difficult with a frozen block of butter. I'm gonna have to eyeball it. I really wanted to do everything by the book so that when you guys did it at home, it would taste exactly the same. But since it's frozen butter, I'm gonna have to just chisel it. We're gonna say that this is 2 tablespoons of butter. And then we're gonna heat this. I'm gonna grab a whisk. I'm gonna grab a cute little one because we're making a cute little recipe. Yeah, so I probably did 3/4 of a teaspoon of vanilla.
Have you made this before?
Huh?
Have you made this before?
No, but vanilla's good in
That's good.
everything.
You gotta give one for the work.
I'm gonna whisk as I go. All right. Does anybody feel like reading the recipe out for me while I whisk
You're
this?
adding that to the low heat. You have the butter and the vanilla in.
Mm-hmm.
Simmer for 1 to 2 minutes until it reaches the desired consistency with continually.
All right. This reminds me, have you guys ever heard of God being set over us as the refiner of silver?
Yes.
Yeah, so there was a lady doing a Bible study at one point, and she was talking to her Bible study ladies, and they said, what does that mean? And she's like, I don't know. And so she decided she was going to go talk to a blacksmith and figure out how he refines silver. And she came back and said she went there, and the blacksmith was showing her the process, took her this super hot forge, like so hot. And it was like as hot as he could make it. And he took this really gross clump of like rocky stuff and put it in a spoon, and he sat right next to that super duper hot fire. And it starts melting. And the lady, he was explaining to the lady, you have to stand over the hottest part of the fire and you have to hold it there until it's ready. Got 1 minute left. So then, as he's sitting there holding it and it's melting, she's like, okay, well, how do you know when it's done? Because he said you can't hold it even a second longer or you'll ruin your silver. How do you know when it's done? And he said, well, that's the easy part. It's when I can see my reflection in it. And I was like, oh my gosh, God is like the refiner of silver. He's not leaving us in that like hottest parts of our life, like the hottest place. He's holding us and he's watching. He's not taking his eyes off of us for a second, and he's not leaving us over that fire for even like a millisecond longer. And as soon as he can see his reflection in us, out of the fire. And there's no frying pan in sight. Oh wait, no, that would have been opposite, right? Out of the frying pan and into the fire. Okay, now it's been about 2 minutes. This is the consistency I look for. I'm gonna turn the heat off and I'm gonna bring it to you guys and show you. Actually, I should show the camera for everybody. Oh, look at this. Ta-da. Wanna try it? Okay. I wanna try it, so. I gotta find out if I'm gonna, well, like it or not. I just made a quart of it, so. I'm stuck with it for a
And I
little
like
while.
it with the extra.
Yeah,
broth.
so how do you store
Yeah.
it? You put it in the fridge?
So get this. Oh, it's perfect!
Yes.
I'm so excited! It's exactly how I imagined it. Yay! This whole workshop was worth it. Okay. You guys are worth it, even if everything else was, well, actually, you guys wouldn't be very happy if it did, but okay. We have our sweetened condensed milk powder. I'm gonna put it in the freezer just because I usually put all my dairy in the freezer. So I'm gonna label it first and then I'm gonna store it in my freezer. And then you take a half a cup every time you need it with butter and vanilla and water. And then you use it in your recipe. You don't need all the cans anymore because you've got it. So
Or the half cans that's in the refrigerator.
That's
Well,
exactly.
that's the thing, yeah.
So,
It just sits there.
you don't need a whole can, which look how much this made. You don't need that much?
Yeah.
Cut your recipe, make less. And this stores so good. I'm getting hot because I'm so excited. Okay. All right, I'm gonna use water in my cocoa just because I want to see how it compares to the mixes, the hot cocoa mixes.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, we drank it with water, and so I know that flavor. So if you guys are cool with it, we'll do water. Plus, I don't have a lot of milk, so we're gonna do water. Okay, so we're gonna do one. Wait, hold on. We are gonna make. Okay, we're gonna do this in a bowl. Okie dokie. That is all there is to it. We are going to mix this and then we're going to recreate the recipe. I said two. With somebody. We're going to rewind a second and go to the condensed milk section of the back of your packet. Can you read what the hazards are for the condensed milk? And then we can read what the hazards are for the hot chocolate.
Condensed milk. The lining of some cans may contain bisphenol A, BPA, which has been linked to potential health concerns. In many cases, it's not a natural product, but a substitute made with vegetable fats, artificial flavorings, and emulsifiers.
So that was for the condensed milk. What about for hot cocoa?
Some popular hot cocoa mixes contain potentially concerning levels of lead and cadmium. Lead and cadmium are heavy metals that can naturally present in cacao beans and can contaminate the final product during processing. Lead is linked to a variety of neurological impairments, including learning disabilities, seizures, and lower IQ. Developing fetuses and children are especially vulnerable to lead exposure because their brains are in critical growth and development stages. While not toxic in small amounts, chronic exposure to lead and cadmium can be harmful, particularly for children and pregnant women.
So that was one of the ones that surprised me the most when I got ready for this class was the hot cocoa. That's why I wanted you to read it.
And it's
We use a
concerning 'cause
lot.
it's cocoa.
And we use a lot of cocoa mix. And if cocoa is so closely created, if this is kind of the same process that they use to make chocolate milk, my kids drink between chocolate milk and hot cocoa when they are not allowed to have soda or juice. These are the things that they're like, I want it like all day. They would drink it anytime I said that they could. Because I don't want to have to research, study, find, and like.
This you pick it up.
So I go to the Azure. The Azure is my, it's my sanity station where I trust that they're doing it for me. And it was recommended to me by somebody who's way more into this than me. So I was like, all right, she's nuts, so she wouldn't buy anything. Yeah, I'm like, I have a crazy friend, so we can trust it. Yeah, but it doesn't say how much water. So I'm assuming it's gonna be in 8 ounces, which is a cup. But that seems like a lot. So we're gonna
a lot.
Yeah.
Even in the recipes.
We're gonna make
Mhm.
we're gonna make
Well, when you buy it in the bag, it's like a little bag that you
Yeah.
rip open and dump it in.
Yeah.
it's true.
You know
But
what I
is
mean?
there 4 to 5 tablespoons you think in one of those bags? Maybe.
Probably
Yeah,
like 4,
maybe.
yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna do it. And I have a reverse osmosis filter, so this is taking out all of this was my big buy. When I started really trying to get my food on point, I felt like awful because it's like the best filter I had wasn't getting out all the stuff that I was really concerned about in our water. And so that was my biggest first like foot in the water of like crazy town, like I'm gonna be a hippie now because it's like I need clean water. So reverse osmosis, it's taking out all of the pesticides, it's taking out the pharmaceuticals, the metals, and the chemicals, and the fluoride, and the chlorine. So yeah, it's a good little filter, and it was like 200 and stuff that I was expensive, but it's a good little filter. All right, we're gonna let that heat a little bit before I keep mixing it. And I am gonna go ahead and jump right into the pudding because that's our next sweet thing. I made pudding beforehand because I knew you guys wanted to taste it, and it's gonna be hot when we make it, and I don't want you guys to, yeah, so get your tasting spoons ready. Put in it, you can make it exactly how you like it. You're like, it's a little bit less sweet than I like it, add more sugar. So it's all about tweaking the recipe the way you like, and that's one of the things I wanted to do with this class, is I wanted to make it so you guys could see if you want to make it yourself, and you can make those tweaks the first thing so you can be more successful at home when you make it for yourselves.
And this is made with that dry sugar mix. Or excuse me, the dry milk.
Yes, so there's a lot of dry milk mixes that we're gonna do today because we want them to be shelf stable on the pantry. So we're processing our own processed food, starting as close to the cow as we can get, which is milk, which has been dried and sourced from a company that we trust. All right, our pudding mix is going to be 3 cups of sugar. Okay, that's getting hotter. It's not like overly hot right now, so if you guys wanted to try some. Okay, and then 2 1/4 cup of cornstarch. Lots of cornstarch in these recipes too.
Hot chocolate is delicious.
Is it?
Mhm.
I haven't even tried it yet.
Oh yeah.
Okay, almost 2 1/4.
It's a little warm, it's not hot.
Thank you.
Sorry, that's what.
Oh my gosh, that tastes like hot cocoa.
Mhm.
I don't know why I'm so surprised. I think
Yeah.
the reason I'm so surprised is because when you make the powdered mix and you go to smell it and you expect to smell the smell, it doesn't smell like you expect it. So when you taste it, it's like a beautiful surprise.
I think I actually like that tastes better than I like the store-bought
Oh,
powder.
so the reason why I'm really happy to hear that is because they usually will put things into the processed foods that our body doesn't respond well to override our body's processes of saying whoa, 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 and get us to be like, yeah, yum.
I want
So
more of that.
yeah, they hook us into these bad things and they override and hijack our biology. So to find something that's a whole food that tastes as good and that gives you as good of a experience is pretty amazing, since laboratories are being invested into really get the best product that people want to buy.
No, it's the most addictive.
That's why
Yeah.
I need bit longer fingers. All right, so we need a tablespoon of salt, and then we're gonna mix this all together, and then I'm gonna store it in a jar because you guys have already tasted the final product. But when you make it from the jar, it's going to be 1/2 cup of this mix, and then you're gonna put it in with 2 cups of milk in a saucepan. You're gonna heat it until it starts to come to a boil. And I whisked mine continually because I really like the smooth pudding. And so then I added in 2 tablespoons of butter and a teaspoon of vanilla. For this recipe, I added 1/4 cup of cocoa powder. That's how I got the chocolate. You'll see at the bottom, you can do vanilla by adding vanilla, and you can do lemon by adding lemon juice. So these are all the puddings you can use with just one dry mix.
And that you mixed it with 2 cups of dry milk or
Just regular milk.
milk?
Yeah, so once we get done with these jars, the dry milk goes in the freezer and you forget about it.
Okay.
This is just for making the dry mix so that we have it on hand. That's where the dry powdered sugar, cornstarches, that's where they're getting the most use. Okay, we're gonna do 1 tablespoon of salt before I mix this together.
And you're using the pink Himalayan?
Yeah, it's a preference. I like pink Himalayan and Celtic salt are my favorite because they actually have minerals in them. My reverse osmosis machine, it strips everything, even minerals, which you don't get very many in your water, but I like using high mineral salts just to kind of give us a little bit of help getting some of that good minerals back. Hold on, I gotta try. I haven't even tried the pudding yet. Okay.
Try the pudding. Now I understand why you're gonna be making more for those kids tomorrow.
Oh yeah, they probably will. I think I'd add more sugar to it. It does have, yeah, and it's got that lingering chocolate flavor that you love. So I picture putting that in those little clear cups and then layering a layer of whipped cream on the inside, because whipped cream is actually really easy to make. You just whip cream with some sugar. I used to put vanilla in it, but it gives it kind of like almost like a musky alcohol type taste. So just sugar is what I found makes it taste like the vanilla whipped cream that we're all used to and we know and we love. And powdered sugar makes it even more smooth.
Can you reconstitute the heavy cream powder?
You could,
And
yeah.
whip it? Have you tried that?
I haven't tried it, but you could. Yes.
Theoretically, it might work too.
Yeah, if you were to reconstitute any dried milk, I would put it in a jar and shake it, and I would do 24 hours and just periodically shaking, because any of the dried goods needs to like have time to rehydrate, and I wouldn't try anything with it until I had some time to absorb the water personally.
Yeah.
Just for my own experience, that's. Hi, we just noticed that you were gone. I hope you didn't miss much. We're making hamburger helpers. All right, so let's make our mix. We're gonna need, guess what? Dry milk. And this has almost lasted. I thought we were gonna need so much more, and it actually has kind of stood the test of time. And you guys are welcome. If you guys find something that you want to create and you're like, I'd like to do a workshop and teach how to make this, and it doesn't take up like a bunch of table space like sewing, and it's just like, hey, I want to bring a couple canners in and show everybody how to do this and let them take some jelly home, I'll brainstorm and help you figure out like how much the class would cost to do it, and then you guys could teach it.
Because we're freezer jam. So
Yeah.
we aren't having to do the boiled canning.
We could do that, yeah, just to teach us how to do it.
That's what she learned. Was
So
doing.
maybe she should try and teach the class, and then we can test your knowledge. Oh, yeah. God knew.
The fish in the
All right. We're gonna add in all of our goodies, and I'm gonna stir our noodles a little bit because they're getting clumpy. So they're absorbing quite a bit of water, but they're definitely not done yet. This usually takes about 20 minutes to absorb the water, just for future reference. Is that still going? Good. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and not use that for this. Okay, 1/4 cup. This was so expensive too, I'm thinking. And I'm using 1/4 cup, and I'm just like, for vegetables. I thought it was beef stock that was like freeze dried. Oh no.
Scrape that back in.
That's your quarter. There's your quarter.
Okay.
In the back.
Yeah, so I don't see how it cannot have beef in it because I had convinced myself it has to be beef stock because look how much money they want for it. Anyway, I'm gonna stick
For
with
the
how do you say
Knorr.
it again? Knorr. I'm gonna stick with Knorr until I find something better, but be
Wait,
careful.
this might still be good, you don't know.
Okay.
And
I'm
Nor
gonna-
also has it in, instead of cubes, they do have it in a powder.
Yes, and they have it in a bucket, and it's super reasonably priced, which always makes me question things
Scared,
now
what's-
because
yeah.
I'm like, if it's cheap, that means they found an easier way to make it, and if they found an easier way to make it, then maybe they're cutting corners, which is my experience, what you can kind of expect. At least it told us this time. I hope not, because, well, we're at the tail end. I'm just wondering how long it turned off the first time. Did you
I don't
notice?
think it was very long because I looked up like.
Good. I'm hoping that they. Oh, you know what we didn't. You know what we didn't do is put that condensed milk in the hot cocoa.
Oh.
Yeah, because if you wanted it sweeter, that would be good.
Yeah. It's like caramel cocoa now.
It's like M&L like milk chocolate. I like it that.
Yeah, so, and that's the thing is, you can make a dark chocolate, and then whenever they come over, just add in some sweeter stuff to it. All right, so this is about where I want it when I make hot. Woo! That was a hot handle. Ooh. I didn't realize it was that close to the burner.
I want to have two.
How much more mix do we have?
Why?
Oh.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, I want to. That's all I wanted.
Okay.
That's all I wanted.
Oh, good one.
Well, we have. I have a wild.
Okay. So it's still got some water underneath. You can see like some water underneath. This is how I like it. So I'm gonna add in my sauce now. I'm gonna add in a little bit of water to mix it with so that it makes more of like a gravy around it. And then this is when you would add in anything else. But we're gonna keep it plain because I want you to taste it just with what we made tonight, the Knorr version. All right.
Oh, you want a sample of the sweeter chocolate?
Oh, you want-
Okay, I probably added in 2 tablespoons of water. I'm gonna add in more. I'm gonna add in 4 tablespoons of water because I like it to be creamier. And we're gonna turn on the heat because that's what's gonna thicken it. We'll do a medium-low for that. And now we are going to add, why don't I mix this together since we're already done with this mix, and we will add this mix into it. Okay, we're back. You use 1 cup of spaghetti noodles and 2 cups of rice. And then I mix those together and put them in a big jar, like a big jar. Because I'm gonna just dip from that jar anytime I make any flavor of rice-a-roni. And then I'm gonna make little bags of seasonings. I could do them individual, or I could do, I think I'm gonna do a small jar of each seasoning flavor that I want to have, which I'm only gonna make 2 tonight. But you take 2 tablespoons, or the one on here is only a tablespoon and a half of the seasoning mix after you've got your rice and either your broth or your water together, and that's going to give you your rice-a-roni flavor. And you can mix it in after the rice has poofed, or you can mix it in before. It's totally up to you. But when you store them separately, you don't have to shake them up and worry about how much. You just do everything as needed. So you have family coming over, you have your big jar already made, throw it on with some butter just like you do the box mix, and then you put in your liquid and you throw in as much of the seasoning as you need depending on how big you made your recipe, because you've already got it ready to go. So it's just water, butter, and what you've already made. Back again. All right, so we're doing it this small, if you can see it. Okay, and then you just keep doing this until it gets to about that size. Then you add in, for every cup of pasta, you add in 2 cups of rice. You mix it together, you put it in your jar, and you're ready to go. So we're just gonna imagine that just happened. We're gonna make 2 different varieties of seasoning. We're gonna make the chicken flavor and the beef flavor, and these will make about 3 of the box versions, these recipe sizes. If you're worried about it clumping, which the seasonings tend to when you put it with the not the but like, you know, your broth, they tend to be more clumpy. So moisture absorber if it's gonna set for a long time. Okay, we're going again. That's okay. I know how to piece it together, so we should still be okay for the other people. That's okay. What really surprised me about this recipe was it doesn't have any salt. And when I ate it, I thought there's no way this is going to be spicy enough for us because it doesn't have any salt. And when we made it and I ate it, it tasted salty. And I was like, how does it do that? I don't know how it does it. Probably the chicken and beef bouillons that go into them.
Must
but
have salt.
yeah, they must have. Well, I imagine, yeah, they probably do.
Well, the garlic and the onion powder has a lot of flavor.
Yeah. So we're going to do a teaspoon of garlic and a teaspoon of onion. One.
Yeah, but a box of rice-a-roni has like almost more than 1,000 milligrams of sodium.
Yeah, the sodium is.
This is a mess.
Yeah. And then if you're using a broth, you could get a low sodium broth if you're trying to stay lower on sodium. Also, people who go low sodium, if they switch to Celtic salt, even though it's a higher sodium content, it's a cleaner sodium, and so your body actually uses a lot more of it, so it doesn't do as much of the damage as like high sodium ultra processed food products. So we just did all of the spices except for the bouillon. We're going to do 3 tablespoons of bouillon. So for the chicken, we're going to do chicken. For the beef, we're going to do beef. And that is it. We're going to mix it together. And then it only makes just the tiniest little amount, but that's enough for 3 boxes. Chicken and beef bouillon. Can somebody read for me the rice-a-roni and then hamburger helper if it's on there? I don't think I did rice-a-roni, did I?
You did.
I did. Okay, go ahead.
So for rice-a-roni, rice-based products may contain arsenic, a toxic substance. Though the levels in rice-a-roni are not specified in the search results, some rice-a-roni products contain MSG, which some people are sensitive to, monosodium glutamate.
That's what the MSG is.
Irresistibility. So you can eat more than you should. It is linked to headaches, obesity, depression, and mental disorders. It is also an excitotoxin, excites brain cells to death, which is associated with neurodegenerative diseases. Besides the additive, MSG, the food industry sneaks in other additives such as hydrolyzed proteins that contain free glutamic acid, which is the main component of MSG.
And then did we have one for hamburger helper?
Yes.
Okay. You can go online and find other seasoning options for the rice-a-roni. Same rice, noodles, butter, water, broth, different seasoning. So you can do the same thing as long as it's a dry mix seasoning. You can make whatever seasoning you want. Or if you tinker in your kitchen and you find something you love, that's your new seasoning. So, yeah. Okay, so go ahead for the, what's it called? The hamburger helper.
A lawsuit against General Mills alleged the inclusion of partially hydrogenated oil, trans fat, in hamburger helper, despite the availability of safer alternatives. Trans fats are linked to cardiovascular disease, diabetes, cancer, and other health problems, according to a lawsuit. The Environmental Working Group classifies hamburger helper as an ultra-processed food, concerns about its processing level and potentially harmful additives.
All right.
That's
So,
crazy.
you get to take all of that information and all of the recipes home with you. You get to tinker at home and you get to ask questions as you go. Like you guys saw, I made how many recipes for the first time in front of you. So many of them worked out. And if they didn't, I would want somebody to be like, hey, help, there's people watching me. But so yeah, I want us to stay connected. If you guys know somebody that is an excellent teacher and has a skill that you would want to learn, let us know. If you want to organize your own workshop at your own home, or you have a location, or you have, let me know. And if you need my help with anything, I'll help you. But I do want us to stay kind of in touch on that app so that we can keep learning together. So that's my biggest goal of this whole thing. So done. We finished. Yay! Any questions about anything we did tonight? That's for last.
You made so much in what seems like so little time.
Oh, you'd be very surprised, and especially if I had done all of this before. So did you, for example, the hamburger helper mix came together really fast, right?
Yeah.
Brown sugar came together really fast. Things you put your hands to and you build your confidence with, you do it super fast. Just like when you start making bread, it's like one of those things where you're like, there's too many steps, there's too many waiting times, I'm gonna forget. It's like, it's too much. When you put your hands to it and you do it a few times and you build your confidence, it's muscle memory, and you're like, oh, I can do this, and oh my gosh, this makes this, and if I just tweak this a little bit, then it's that. And so it opens up a whole world, and especially like I make a lot of stuff from scratch now because I just took one step at a time and I said, what do we use? What do I want to make? I started with ketchup because I was running a daycare at the time, and I'm like, we use this much ketchup. So I was like, and it was really expensive because there was a lot of honey in ketchup. So I was like, but you can make, like, they have all these different flavors of ketchup, and I always used to feel like I was like spoiling myself to get a gourmet flavor of ketchup. And now it's like, if I wanted a spicy ketchup, it's as simple as like reaching in the fridge and grabbing something I think that tastes good and putting it in there, and then it's a spicy ketchup. And I'm like, everything is laid out in front of you, and if you have something that you love that tastes good and you want to add it to something else, bonus. This is my favorite cooking friend. Okay, this is hickory salt. I found out about hickory salt, and now I'm like, everything that I make from scratch, I'm like, you're gonna, if you watch any of my videos, you're gonna see like I add hickory salt to everything. So here, smell, don't whip too deep because it's very smelly, isn't it good?
Yeah. I know.
I love that.
Oh wow.
Right? It reminds me of your house growing up.
It smells
Hickory.
like
Now I
smoked
want
salmon
salmon.
or something.
Yeah,
Right?
so-
That you put on. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Almost a campfire.
yes,
Yes.
it tastes smoked, and it adds a smoky flavor to anything. So when I said my smoked butter,
Yeah.
that's the salt I use in my butter. I don't actually smoke my butter.
Okay.
Right.
I just added the hickory salt.
And you source this through Asher?
No, this is my guilty pleasure, and I get it off Amazon, and it's probably ultra processed, but actually I don't think it has nitrites or nitrates in it, which are the two that I look for in like deli meats and
Okay.
like the cured.
Uh-huh.
I don't think it has any of that, but I love the taste. So you have to choose your compromise. You have to choose your heart.
Can't you make that though from your
I could, but I don't have a
Hickory
smoker.
No, because they have a liquid smoke that you can.
You could, but then
My
if you're taking a step back and you're buying a liquid smoke and you don't know what's in the liquid smoke.
Well, yeah, that would
Yeah.
be the only.
Yeah, but if you
but-
were to get like, you get a block of salt and you can put it on a smoker and then grind it. And that's how they do smoked salts.
Oh, okay.
You could, which I'm looking into making my own bacon, but it's like I would need a smoker and I need a meat
that's a lot of work.
slicer. And I'm already trying to save for like a meat grinder because I
Are you still
really,
doing teas?
yeah, I have teas.
You still are
I love
all
doing
your
stuff
own
like this. If there's things that you guys want to learn to make from scratch, and I'm like, I want to learn that too, I'll make a workshop. We'll do it together. So.
Cool. Amen.